Hello students, welcome to my physics class. Today I am going to discuss on one aspect of the combined electromagnetic force, that is magnetism. In terms of applications, magnetism is one of the most important field in physics. Today's lecture will start with history of magnetism and ends with classification of magnetic materials. Let's begin with history behind magnets. There was one scientist, Pliny the Elder, who wrote about hill, which is near the river Indus, that was made entirely of stones that attracted iron. Then come to Magnesia to Sushruta. The term magnet came from the ancient Greek city of Magnesia, at which many natural magnets were found. The Indian surgeon Sushruta was first to make use of the magnets for surgical purposes. Then let's see what happens with Oersted. The Danish physicist Hans Christian Oersted in 1820, who was the professor at University of Copenhagen, discovered that a wire carrying current causes a deflection of magnetic needle placed near the wire. Accidentally, he found that when electric current is passed through a conductor, magnetic field is produced around it. This implies an electric current creates magnetic field. After that, in 1831, Michael Faraday discovered that a momentary current existed in a circuit when current in a nearby circuit was started or stopped. From this, he discovered that the motion of a magnet towards or away from circuit could produce same effect. The direction of magnetic field is given by right hand rule. From this rule, if straight conductor is held in right hand with right thumb pointing in the direction of the electric current, the curled fingers will point in the direction of the magnetic field lines. In this, the strength of the magnetic field depends upon the current flowing through a conductor. Then magnetism. Magnetism is the force of attraction or repulsion of a magnetic material due to the arrangement of its atoms, particularly electrons. Magnetism is an invisible force which pulls or attracts metal objects towards a magnet. Then, all materials are made up of tiny particles called atoms. Atoms are composed of negatively charged electrons and rotate around the nucleus of atoms. Then, that electrons in the atoms of a magnetic materials are spinning in the same direction around the nucleus. This causes the material to be magnetic. In each magnetic material, there are many different groups of atoms, each forming its own tiny magnets. But these groups are in opposite directions to each other. In a magnet, these groups of atoms are aligned so that all the tiny magnets are pointing in the same direction. This alignment of the groups of atoms makes the material magnetic. Therefore, every magnet has at least one north pole and one south pole. Then what causes magnetism? All materials exhibits magnetism, but magnetic behavior depends on the electromagnetic, or that means the electronic configuration of atoms and temperature. When an unmagnetized substance is placed in a magnetic field, the substance can become magnetized. This happens when the spinning electrons lines up in the same direction. Atoms themselves have a magnetic properties due to the spin of the atom's electrons. Groups of atoms join so that their magnetic fields are all going in the same direction. These areas of the atoms are called as domains. Then matter. Matter is made up of atoms, and atoms are made up of nuclei and electrons. The electrons in an atom move about nucleus in a closed paths and hence constitute electric current loops. Since a current loop has a magnetic dipole moment, each electron in an atom has magnetic dipole moment due to its orbital motion. Also, electron has spin motion, because of which it has spin magnetic moment. The resultant magnetic moment is vector sum of all such magnetic moments. The magnetic moments of the electrons have tendency to cancel in pairs. In number of atoms and ions, the resultant magnetic moment is 0. But in some cases, resultant magnetic moment is not equal to 0. Depending upon the magnetic properties of the materials, they have divided into 3 groups. That means diamagnetic materials, paramagnetic materials and ferromagnetic materials. Let's see one by one. First one is diamagnetic materials. Every atom of diamagnetic material has 0 magnetic dipole moment. Diamagnetic materials are weakly repelled by the magnet. Then, permeability of diamagnetic material is less than that of free space. Susceptibility of these materials is negative. Then, diamagnetic materials lose their magnetism on removal of external magnetic field. Some examples of diamagnetic materials are silver, lead, copper, hydrogen, etc. Then let's see next, paramagnetic materials. Every atom of paramagnetic material has non-zero magnetic dipole moment. They are weakly attracted by magnet. Permeability of paramagnetic materials is slightly greater than that of free space. Susceptibility of these materials is positive, but value is very small. Some examples of paramagnetic materials are calcium, magnesium, liquid oxygen and sodium. Then next one is ferromagnetic materials. The atoms of ferromagnetic materials forms a domain which possesses large magnetic moment. They are strongly attracted by the magnet. Permeability of ferromagnetic materials is much greater than that of free space. Susceptibility of these materials is positive and very large. They retain magnetism even if magnetizing field is removed. Therefore, ferromagnetic materials are used to make permanent magnets. Ferromagnetism is normally found in solids. Some examples of ferromagnetic materials are iron, cobalt, nickel. This is all about magnetism. Thanks for watching.